Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me rolling? So you can hear me? Okay. He said you gotta hit the mic at the bottom of the screen, y'all.
I can hear you.
It almost clicked in. Can you hear me rolling?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me, Leslie?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I
All
can
right.
hear both you guys.
All right. Yeah. So they recording this. She said, "Don't worry about too many people being watching right now. They're gonna record it and put it out later or whatever."
Okay.
So we just gonna have a discussion about how important film and videography is to the community.
Okay.
First thing I'm gonna start off with let y'all introduce yourself so everybody can know who y'all is and what y'all do in Chattanooga and what y'all do. What's your business?
Ladies first.
My name is Leslie Nunn. I'm the founder of the Collective Compass. The Collective Compass helps people rewire toxic patterns so that they can be their healthiest, happiest, most fulfilled self. And the reason that I really wanted to participate in this conversation is because for me, a lot of people need to see things to believe it. And so, as somebody that is a truth teller and also from Chattanooga, I went to GPS. It was a very tight, closed bubble, little small bubble within Chattanooga. And I met a lot of people that had different backgrounds. And it was interesting to me. And I realized that through all of our diversities, we can really make Chattanooga a better place. And so when I heard about the documentary Chattanooga and the whole concept of wanting to show these two sides of Chattanooga, which is something that I grew up being passionate about showing to my friends and family, and just the concept of how people can be stuck in their little bubbles. To me, I think video is like just a way to show the truth and to cut through a lot of the illusion and twisting of words and all the manipulating that people try to do for their own benefit. So when when I think of video, I think of how it can bring the truth to the conversation of what we're trying to do to improve Chattanooga. So definitely a big supporter of everything LilMoFilms. And
All right. You back rolling? You bumped
Yeah,
out? Y'all bumped out of there some kind of way.
yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
All right, well, till we get Leslie back, man. Go ahead and tell him what you do, man, and about yourself.
All right. I'm Roland McClinton Jr., aka RMJR, founder of the Deprogram Show, also founder of Exhort Life, which is a life coaching thing, just helping young people just get back into the groove and helping them get on track no matter where they at in life. But she back.
Sorry about that, Leslie. I don't know
It's
what
okay.
happened. We kind of bumped out. So I was letting Roland tell a little bit about himself.
But yeah, she can finish since she back.
No, I'm finished. I was just summarizing why I just really was excited to be a part of Chattanooga and definitely this experience. I just want everyone to be able to see the power of creating video, and especially how Mo helps the entire community of Chattanooga understand more about each other through video. I love that, so I definitely am glad to be a part of the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
you
I
go
guess
ahead, Roland. Yeah, go ahead, Roland.
so. The reason, like I said earlier, I founded the Deprogram Show as well as Exhort Life. The reason I founded the Deprogram Show so that we can have topics brought to the forefront that might not be on your local news or in the mainstream media. So we have been programmed a certain way in life of us not getting along by our biases and things of that nature. So it's one way to bridge the gap for us to come together. And another reason why I founded the Exhort Life is you have many people in different walks of life who need help. And that's my way of being a life coach to as many people as possible.
Okay. All right, that's cool. That's cool, man. So let's talk about dialogue. Um, how do y'all feel that video and film and podcasting and all these areas of media, how do you feel they help the community create dialogue amongst one of each other?
I think it just helps people understand each other's stories better. And, like I said, a lot of people like to dismiss problems that certain areas of the community have more than others. And people like to ignore things that don't impact them. But really, if we're in one community together, everything impacts all of us. So I love the fact that video can help bring that to everyone's attention that may not have access to just being in those communities to see things in person. Or, like you said, a lot of this stuff is not on the news, and it's mind-blowing to me, the things that I'll see just scrolling through Facebook. So to have platforms that take those things that the news doesn't want to pick up, I mean, just like your documentary, Chattanooga, you were doing all that promotion yourself, and we all have to do it ourselves if we want to keep these conversations going when the mainstream is not interested, really.
How about you, Roland?
One of the reasons why I feel like it's important is because, for one, like we could all be in different places and have a mutual conversation at the same time, like we're doing now. Another reason is it allows us to have dialogue and really sit down and have time to, okay, this is what I think on the matter. And you can say what you think on the matter. We don't have to agree, but we could come to common ground. And if we do have a difference, we can understand, okay, the reason we have a difference is because of this. And it don't make it bad. It's just we have a different perspective on certain things due to our background or upbringing.
Dig that, man. I'd say probably about 2005, 2004, around in that area. I was out here doing a lot of filming, man, and a lot of spots that's very neglected in Chattanooga. You know what I mean? And I had this question that I would ask people, as I went out throughout the city. And I would ask, describe Chattanooga in one word. You know what I mean? Describe Chattanooga in one word. And I noticed when I would interview people like downtown, the downtown area, Coolidge Park area, places like that, all the answers was like, it's lovely, it's great, I love it, It's the future. It's beautiful. It's, you know what I'm saying? And it was funny to me. I went to these other neighborhoods and asked the exact same question. The exact same question. It was grimy, racist, bad, I hate it, hateful. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was all these negative words. You know what I mean? And that's what led me on the path of making that film, Chattanooga. I didn't have a name for it at first, but I knew what I wanted to show in the film was that we living in two total different worlds in this city. You know what I mean? The only difference is, and I'm pretty sure, Roland, you can attest to this. We are not rule makers in this town. So when you got these two different ways of living, you know what I mean, and then you're not making the rules. It's like you're in a lose-lose situation. You know what I mean? And the people making the rules don't understand your culture. You know what I mean? Like, so that was my whole goal on this film, was to try to force a conversation between these two worlds that we living in Chattanooga. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go on to the next question. What I want to ask Al, and Roland, I want you to go first on this one.
Okay.
What are some of the experience you done had with video content that kind of changed your perception on maybe white people, maybe even black people, or Latino, or what have you? Is it any kind of films that stick out to you in the city?
I mean, it's been like you might see.
Keep in mind, Roland, that video, it could be a live post from Facebook, a podcast,
Yeah,
or a
I
movie.
get what you're saying.
Okay.
Like, it might be, say, I might interview, or I might even, not me interviewing, but I might watch an interview and I might have a preconceived notion on a person, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one do it, but I might have a preconceived notion that because a person seemed like this, but once you hear the person out and you hear what they got to say in their perspective, it might be totally different. And then I understand that we have more in common than we realize when we just sit down and hear the person out or even talk to each other. So that's what has helped me do, see that we're not as different as we think we are.
Right. Leslie?
Well, mainly the biggest disconnect that I've seen through video is just especially before I've seen your content, it was mainly the difference between what was on the news versus what was on social media. And that's mind-blowing for me. So the more that the older that we've gotten, the more that I've seen different people that I've went to school with, and just doing different things in the community, having different roles, having different jobs, businesses, and just being involved in different areas of what makes up Chattanooga. And the social media side of the news from all those different areas is way different than what the actual news and media show. And then when I found your content, especially 32, that is one of the biggest examples of the disconnect, because I heard about the 32 men that were in the film through the news first. And the picture that they tried to paint is so one-sided. Just the way that they try to criminalize Black men in Chattanooga is unbelievable to me. And then to see the flip side of that perspective and the other side of the conversation, and just letting people see the full story is so crucial. So that was where it started for me, just the disconnect between what the news covers on all news channels locally versus what's on social media. It's very, very different. And
it's funny you say that. Man, I had experience with this. I was doing something in the community with the McCallie private school, and I was with some of the 7th and 8th graders, some young men. And it's funny, y'all both kind of say that, man. This young man, I overheard them talking to his little friends, and they was talking about how his parents owned this house that we was walking past in Highland Park. You know, they from the mountain or whatever, but they own the property in Highland Park. And he was saying that they had got a phone call one night in the middle of the night saying that whoever was staying in the house that they was renting out, somebody had got shot and killed, you know, and they lived on their property, you know what I mean, at 3, 4 in the morning. Now, come to find out, when he was talking about him, I knew the person who had got shot and killed. You know what I'm saying? So it was funny to me how we are unaware how one situation can affect the whole. It affected that little white boy and his family. They got a phone call in the middle of the night at 3 in the morning. You know, it didn't affect them personally and emotionally because they didn't know the person, but it affected them business wise. You know, and on the flip end, it affected the community because we lost a brother, and now his parents hurt and everything. And now, not only that, we affected the kids. This little kid at school telling his homeboys and friends the story of what he experienced. You know what I mean? So it just made me wonder how much more of that is going on. You know what I mean? And how many other stories that we got like that where something may have happened and we don't know how it affected this side versus this side. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. So that's gonna lead me into that's a perfect segue for this next question. And Leslie, we'll alternate. Leslie, we'll let you go first this time. How is it that we can promote each other's ways and our thoughts and our businesses and things to each other? What is it that we could do better to promote these things to each other? Like, I know I interviewed a lady doing a documentary who run a canoe renting business on the riverfront. Well, you know, where you can rent canoes and, you know, they got hang gliding and stuff like that. But I can't name one time I done walked in the store in the hood and seen a sign up saying, hey, come try canoeing, come try hang gliding, come try rock climbing, come try, you know, why is those features of the city not being promoted in our areas? You know, that brings education, physical education. You know what I mean? And mental education to the community. Why are our kids not being offered, you know, these platforms or whatever, and vice versa? We got to be able to offer what we have to offer to them as well. You know what I mean? So they can come do business with us too. You know. So y'all just speak on that a little bit, man. What do y'all feel like we can do to maybe fix that?
Well, as you're talking and I'm thinking, where the first thing that came to my mind was action. But then even before the action of the people within the community, I think that it really starts with putting pressure on whoever has control over our resources, because we can take it upon ourselves as individuals. You can go into the communities that you grew up in and promote whatever it is you think it's important for them to be